I've been packing my lunch for work lately, and it's better food, healthier, saves me some money, and I've been making a lot of sandwiches. And the other day I ran out of bread, so I went to the store and I bought a loaf of bread, and I threw it on the table because I'm not making my lunch for the weekend. And I just took a look at it because I'm going to make my sandwich soon for tomorrow, make it ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And I just found out that my cats have been eating my bread through the bag. So I've got a loaf of pretty much almost perfectly good bread, except it's got a bunch of fucking bite marks all over it, and it's got chunks missing out of it. And
the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. They've been chewing on it like it's a squishy toy. And I'm like, God damn it! I mean, the bread only costs $2, but it's just like, now I gotta go buy more bread.
Yeah, is that like whole wheat, or you do the Wonder Bread?
No, it's a baguette. I like fancy bread.
I don't know what a baguette is.
I'm not fancy. It's a French it's a French loaf. I have to cut it myself, that kind of thing. So it's a loaf of bread. It's not a sliced Wonder Bread thing. I hate Wonder Bread.
Man, my granddad's his latest wife. Only woman I've ever known to make bread, and the shit is so fucking good, man.
She actually makes it herself?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's
scratch. Makes the loaves, and it's so fucking good. Like, man, it's so good. But it's like, I don't need to make. I've never made a sandwich with that bread ever. I just threw some butter on it, toasted it, threw some butter on it, and just enjoyed the bread.
I bet it'd make a mean sandwich.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's like, obviously you got to cut it yourself, so it's just like. Man, it's so good.
Oh yeah, I bet homemade bread is real good. That's why I get the shit that you have to cut yourself. There's something about it that I like better. I just think it makes a better sandwich. But I want to hear your club story. So we're gonna jump from bread to club.
Oh, sorry everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna bitch about the club real quick. So not really bitching, but like, dude. Oh yeah, slightly bitching, but. We had these Russian guys. I worked the VIP. Had Russian guys at one of my table. They were there to party. It was kind of a sucky night. We were just slow, so we didn't have a lot of selection on females to bring them and stuff. So that kind of sucked. I really wanted to perform for these guys and make sure they had a great night. But then, we got some girls in there. One girl was, there's always, a lot of times there's like one chick that's just doing way too much. And just having too much, like living her best life just a lot more than everybody else. So this one, she knocked over a carafe of Sprite. And I'm like, oh, it's whatever. Like, it's just one carafe of Sprite. Like, picked it up, no problem. Just mopped it up, we were good. Literally, like, I'd say 20 minutes later, bro, she knocked everything over. The whole fucking table over, and it was just all over my leg. My leg was wet, my socks were wet.
So she was pretty wasted.
Dude, I was so fucking mad. I'm like, I went to the guy, I'm like, dude, you gotta get her the fuck out of here right now. It's like, if I do it, it's gonna cause a scene. At least she'll still fuck you if you do it.
Yeah.
Or if you take her out to the dance floor or something like that. I'm like, get rid of her now. Oh, no, buddy, it's all good, buddy. And I gave him that look like,
well, he was Russian, so it's, well, no, it's all good, comrade.
Yes.
He's good. He's good girlfriend.
And I was just like, dude, and we came to an understanding with nothing more than a look. I gave him that look like, yeah, it can be okay if you make it okay. So then he actually, when the night started, he gave me $100 bill.
Oh.
So then he gave me another $100 bill, and then I'm like, all right, be cool. I was so mad at the girl because I had wet socks and my whole leg was just covered in fucking cranberry juice, Sprite, orange juice, whatever the fuck they had on their table.
I hate
just a
wet
mess.
Socks.
Oh yeah, and I mean, wet socks will change the disposition of a lot of people.
Oh, it changes my disposition.
Like, the fuck.
That's for sure, but I can already hear the guy. Okay, buddy, we go get another vodka. We go out to dance floor.
Man, it was crazy. So I was just like, I was pissed. And then this other fucking guy came to the club, bro. I kicked out a whole table for him.
Uh-huh.
And his people, like the guy at the table right next to him, he couldn't keep his hands off of women. He
Oh,
touched
boy.
one of the bottle girls. Then he went over to the table next to him and touched some guy's wife.
Oh, jeez.
So that guy was pissed. He was like, dude, you better get him the fuck out of here because I'm going to knock him out. I'm like, I'm not mad at you for being mad. Like, just give me 10 seconds and I can take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I got rid of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the friends that I left, I didn't kick the whole table out at first.
Mm-hmm.
But all the friends I left behind, then they started being antagonistic towards the table that his friend had violated. So then I got rid of all them.
Jeez.
And at the end of the night, I'm like, yo, man, hey, I took care of you guys. Like, what, I was on top of my shit tonight.
You got $10.
And, bro, I got nothing.
Nothing? You didn't.
Because he was just like, I said, look at, he's like, well, actually, according to him, the bottle girls told him that whatever gets put on the receipt goes to security. People out there, you go to a club, you give security money straight up because the money on the receipt always goes to just the girls. Does not go to the guys that work security. So he was like, oh, I thought I took care of you there. And I'm like, and he opened up his wallet. I'm seeing at least $800 bills. I'm like, okay, well, just give me one of those $100 bills.
Uh-huh.
He's like, wait, what, man? We didn't see you all night. This. I said, bro, I did all this for your table. And his friend's like, oh yeah, no, he did. I'm like, see, like I was on my shit. Just because you were having too much fun, that doesn't mean I wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't want to give me that shit, and I'm pulling out my pocket. I said, look, I got $100 here, $100 here, $250s here. I said, all these tables are giving me money straight up, and I'm getting hundreds from these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think I'm being ridiculous with you right now, but I'm not, because everybody else is doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted me to like find him some cigarettes, and then he was like, well, if I give you $15, will you like give me some cigarettes to bum? And I'm like, bro, you tell me to move for $15 after everything I did already? He was like, oh, I'll get you next time. I'm like, yeah, they all say that. All right,
So you probably heard that one before.
I'm like, if you come to the club buying bottles, be ready to ball out. You tip everybody, especially if you got VIP. And they spent and their tab was like $3,000. Like, it ain't like you ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little perturbed. Thanks for listening to me bitching about my side job.
Oh, for sure.
Just what it is.
Oh, for sure. I mean, power to you, man. I don't have the temperament for that shit.
Shit,
my general response is, I don't care. But with that, guys out there, it's that time of the month again, your bi-weekly Trans Talk show, specifically for guys. That would be Trans Talk for men. I don't know if I'm going to say that every time. I just felt like saying it this time. I'm Eric. That's Chris.
You.
Hey, so actually, guys, this is going to be a continuation of our previous episode in which we were talking about the porn industry and cams and stuff like that. We're actually going to wrap this one up. We had a couple things to talk about last time, but we were running out of time. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to start kind of in that direction, but we're going to start with one of our first stories, like we always do, normal format, which is recently on Twitter. Kelly Pierce posted a tweet about her husband and him getting a new executive position, and for that information, Chris has more of that information, so I'm going to let him lay down the story on that one. So, Chris, take it away, buddy.
So by now, y'all should know I pay close attention to Kelly Pierce and her Twitter account. If you don't know Kelly Pierce, she used to do a lot of like mainstream porn. Now she's mainly just camming.
And she was pretty popular, yeah.
Yeah, she was popular once upon a time. She was like in that 2000s, late 2000s era.
Yeah.
But, this chick is totally woke. You should follow her on Twitter. She's got a lot of profound shit to say.
And she's
but,
smart.
she updates, everybody about shit that's happening in their life. And normally I don't give a fuck what's happening in a lot of these porn stars' lives. I'm just be honest. I really don't. But she was talking about how she was talking about how like she will only be doing topping videos, like either videos with just her or videos of her topping somebody else. And,
other guys or other T-girls?
I believe it's just women.
Okay. Oh, just
or maybe other T-girls, but not guys.
Okay. Okay, so she doesn't do. Oh, she doesn't top
Yeah,
guys.
she
All right.
only does stuff with her husband. So if you look her
Okay.
up on Pornhub or X Hamster or whatever, the only
Mm-hmm.
video you're gonna see of her bottoming, I think she's wearing like a blue lingerie or something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously a home video.
Okay.
So her husband is definitely tearing her up, and it's the bomb.
Okay.
And but I mean, you rarely see her top, but she says no more videos of her bottoming because her husband can't do porn because he is now an executive, so he can't do it anymore. And it's just like that brings back to the question of these companies and their bullshit morality clauses or whatever, what standards, whatever. Like
It
they're
would
married and
it would
they're having
besmirch the
sex.
company. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like they're married and they're having sex. So whether there's a camera there or not, they're gonna be fucking.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I don't see a problem with making money off it if that's what you want to do.
Right.
If you want to have a camera set up while you're fucking your wife, and then from that one video you make, let's just say $500, like totally
Mm-hmm.
fucking worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting in that the he's become an executive, and it's probably that the company has policies, and they probably didn't even say anything to him directly. They probably just
No,
he probably is just taking it upon himself to say, "I am now an executive. I'm a face of this company. I
hmm
represent it. I wouldn't want to bring any shame to the company, but." That doesn't change the videos that are already out there. I mean, you can find
that's true.
videos of him dicking down his wife. And she's got a pair of nuts. And I think it's partially that they don't want their executive to be putting out sex videos, but it's also partially that he's married to a trans woman. Um,
And she's
but
very passable, so it's
oh,
possible
she's
nobody at this job knows
she's super
anything
passable.
about that.
That could be, and then maybe somebody's seen him and say, "Hey, isn't that our executive putting his dick in some T girl or whatever?" And not know it's his wife, but I don't know. But
That's crazy. That's a really good point that the shit is already out there. Like,
that's what I mean.
if you're
So
gonna get in trouble, it's gonna happen.
yeah, so to me, what's the difference about making more as opposed
Wow.
to what's already out there? Because if the company knows that the videos are out there,
hmm
they've already promoted him to an executive. If the company doesn't know the videos are out there, then how are they going to find them? Unless,
Now,
you
would
know,
you disclose that if you got an upper management job at like an actual corporation, not like a smaller business or a small business with like one or two locations, like
mm-hmm,
a, let's just say a publicly traded company,
if you were like a CEO at Walmart.
not CEO, if you just made it to senior management.
Okay.
So senior management, for Walmart, I would count that as like station man or not station store managers and district managers and everything above a store manager and above. Would you disclose that to your company, like, hey, just so you guys know, this stuff is out there. I did
Mm-hmm.
it before I worked here. We're not doing it anymore, or we are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you're at that level, you don't need the money.
It's
You
that's
really
true.
don't.
That's true.
You're making six figures plus
For me,
easily.
for me, I don't think I would do it at senior management level. I think I would have to be an executive, a partner, a CEO, CFO, something like that before I
hmm
disclosed it. I think I would have to be like the face of something to disclose it. But if I was like a store manager or even a regional manager for a
hmm
Walmart or whatever, we're just using Walmart as an example. I don't know what the fuck this guy, Mr. Pierce, I don't know what he does for a living.
hmm
We assume it's probably better than Walmart, but um,
Hey, Walmart
and
got checks for
I'm not,
days, bruh.
yeah, I'm not saying that Walmart isn't a huge, conglomerate and all that shit. I'm just saying Walmart is trashy. Um, it's so trashy. Like
I love it.
this is going to be such a side shoot,
Sorry.
but so me and Nat, we go into well, we have a local store here in Michigan. We have a store called Meyer, and that's kind of our
Okay, yeah, I don't
local.
know.
That's kind of our local Walmart. Yeah, well, you probably would from Wisconsin. I think they're in Wisconsin.
Yep.
So we have Myers, and we like to go to Myers, but we also like to go to Aldi's. Well, every so often, Nat wants to go to a Walmart, and we go
Oh,
into
bro,
the
you gotta
Walmart.
explain Aldi real quick. 'Cause they're not everywhere.
Oh, they aren't.
No, yeah, I thought they would be too, but they're not in fucking Denver at all.
How the
People in
fuck is?
Denver have never heard of. That's how you know you live in an area that's too fucking progressive and rich. When you
What?
don't have an Aldi.
Oh my god.
There are
Okay.
no poor neighborhoods here.
Aldi, guys, is like the step up from the dollar store. They have good fresh food for dirt fucking cheap. They
Mm-hmm.
don't supply you with plastic bags, and you have to pay 25 cents to rent out a cart. You get your 25 cents back at the end of the day, but they cut unnecessary costs, and they give you really fucking cheap food. I can
Yeah.
get a week's worth of food at Aldi's for $65.
Yeah.
Um,
They have they keep it low because it's all their own brands.
it's all their own brand, and it's all legit food. Like none of
Yeah.
it's shitty.
They're
And
like an offshoot of Trader Joe's. So if you guys like Trader Joe's, I would give them a try because a lot of their shit is like they really turn the corner on this whole like natural and organic train,
yeah.
and it's a lot of really good stuff in there.
Well, they have like a new artisan section in most of them too that I've noticed, and that's pretty good shit over there. You can get like good cuts of chicken and stuff like that. But okay, so Aldi's. So we go to the Aldi's, we go to the Meijer, and it's fine. It's just people shopping, and then we go into this Walmart every so often. I begrudgingly go in there. I remember when Walmart came to my town and kind of flipped shit upside down. So we go in there, and I'm like, holy shit. All the trash people are here at Walmart. Like, the hover rounds, the little rascal scooters, they are rampant in that Walmart. And I'm like, we only live in a town of like 3,000 people, and half of them are in this Walmart at all times. And Walmarts are so trashy. I fucking hate Walmart. I hate the trashiness. You can always find like a half-eaten bologna sandwich in the milk aisle. Like I can't do Walmarts. I hate them so much. It's unreal. But anyway, the point of me saying is that I think Kelly Pierce's husband probably works at something better than a Walmart. However, we're going to go back to our example. We are going to wind it way fucking back to talking about if we were a senior manager, an executive, whatever. I would say if I was a senior manager, a regional manager of a bunch of Walmart stores, if I was high up, but my face was not part of the face of Walmart, I'd say, fuck it. I'm not disclosing anything. If I was a CFO, a CEO, the face of Walmart, an executive, a comptroller, something like that, I would probably say, hey, if you guys ever get in hot water and they start looking at the people who run this company, just so you know, I fuck my wife on a regular basis, and we film it, and she has an awesome cock and nuts. Maybe not that last part. Maybe that last part. I haven't decided yet. I'm not a CFO. So I haven't decided if I'm going to disclose that part. So for me personally, I wouldn't disclose it. But we don't know if Kelly Pierce's husband has disclosed any of this. We don't know what he said to them. We just know that she says she's not going to do any more bottom videos. I mean, I assume in their free time they're going to still get fucked. But
dude, that video with her and her husband, like, bro, she was like dripping. I mean, like dripping, like pre-cum flowing freely, like, and she's made it clear, like, she likes getting bottom. Or she likes bottoming for her husband, and that's the only guy that can really do that for her.
Well, it's that
shit is dope.
It's that connectionness. It's the same way with me and Nat. She fucking pre-comes all the time when I'm fucking her, and she says that I'm the only guy that's ever been able to make her do that. And my dick is not magic. It is not an extraordinary cock, but it makes me feel good that I can make her do that. And so, no, I totally get that, but so yeah, I don't. It's a shame, I guess, for people out there looking for it. But Kelly Pierce has so much porn that it's like.
She has
I think
a lot.
You could. Yeah,
it's
I think
not
you
much
could,
of her bottoming though. She's mostly
no, you're right.
Top.
Yeah, I know. I did know that. But you can still get some of the old stuff, and I know it's eventually going to get old and whatever. But apparently, there's just going to be no more new bottom stuff. Which then begs the question: are they going to have sex ever again? Now that he's an executive, they're just, sex is done. I can't have sex with you, baby. I'm an executive now. But we're not filming it. The squirrels might report it. They could see through the window. The dog, he's been watching.
You know what's sad is like if you do report it, you definitely want to report it just straight up without introducing the trans part of it, just so you don't invite, biases, anything dangerous. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, for
it's
sure.
sad. It's got to be like that though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, that would be
Like that would
that
be
could that could affect your job, honestly, and
yeah.
that's some bullshit, is what it is. But unfortunately, you're right. That's the way it is. Not the way it should be, but the way it is. I mean, the whole thing is not the way it should be. I think that Kelly Pierce and her husband should still be able to fuck on video and put it out if they want to. Not
Hmm.
out of obligation, but if they decide as consenting adults that they want to put that out there, especially because it's his wife's business as well. That's
True.
how she makes her money. I think that should
Speaking,
be up. I think that should be up to them. But unfortunately, there is that corporate influence. I mean, it's even in my job, and I am a low-ranking fucking nobody, where I have to make sure that I follow rules and regulations, and I'm not caught in my uniform doing certain things. Like, if I am in my vehicle, in my company vehicle, in my uniform, and somebody catches me like going to a store to get some lunch, but they think that I'm doing personal shopping on company time, they can report that, and then I can get a big talking to and all that shit. It's ridiculous. It's like,
oh,
let me.
that sounds stupid.
Yeah, well, it is because I'm on my break. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's like it's the whole corporate thing. It's the whole job influencing the life and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. Just let people be. I mean, and this is kind of a side note, but I've thought about this even with the podcast. Chris, when
Hmm.
we started this podcast, I went, okay, if this actually takes off, if this becomes a thing, if we build something around this, and I honestly, sincerely hope that we do. But I thought about, is this going to affect my employment in the future? Because I talk about sexual things, I talk about sexuality. I'm open and honest and raw about these things, and so are you. And it's like, are these things going to affect us down the line? And the answer is, I don't know, but the answer should be no, it won't. And it's too bad that I can't answer that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations to Kelly Pierce's husband on being executive, and condolences to Kelly Pierce because she's no longer gonna get his dick up her butt ever. I think that's what she was saying.
Oh no.
I think that's what she was saying. I think she was saying that we're never having sex again, and that's sad. I hope their relationship continues to work out as a sexless relationship.
She just looks him in the eye and is like, "I am the captain now.
Yeah,
Look at me."
I am the captain now. Oh boy, almighty. All right, so let's pick up where we left off last
Yeah,
week.
speaking of people making money,
Yeah, that's where we're going with that.
talking about how all these chicks out here make their money on using the internet, but also, I don't know, man, uh, I,
Well,
prostituting themselves out here pretty much.
the question is it prostitution?
Like
Is
if you're
it?
saying you're meeting with a client,
Yep.
that bro, that person is paying you
Yeah.
to have sex with you,
No,
and they
they're
just
paying you.
allow you to film it for your OnlyFans. That's prostitution,
Well,
and it's
no,
just
that's
really weird at how many.
art. Now it's
Yeah,
art.
right.
If you film it, it's art.
I
and
don't
it's a
pay
job.
to be in art.
Well, it's a job now if you film it. I think there's some sort of loophole there because people have talked about that with porn in general, where they say like, okay, we're paying two people to have sex, but it's in front of a camera, so it's okay.
Yeah, but those people. Here's the thing. That's if I'm the cameraman. That's like you and that paying me. You pay me to film you on video, and then I make money off of that video, and you guys don't make any money at all.
No, but the stars have to make some money. They're the stars.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
These are clients. If you go into an OnlyFans page or to these girls' private Snapchat pages, they post videos of them having sex with random guys or maybe not so random guys.
Oh,
their
I see. I
usual
see what you're. I
clients
see what you're saying.
in Chicago, Milwaukee, Atlanta.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Okay, I was saying that what I was relating it to was the prostitution talk about. I'm talking about like main porn videos, like Trans 500, Groovy, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They pay these people to have sex,
Actual companies.
right? And they pay these people to
Okay.
have sex, and they do it and they film it
Yeah,
on
of
a
course.
camera, and then that's
Yeah.
not prostitution, even
Of
though we're
course.
paying people to have sex, which is like some sort of weird loophole that I think.
But they're an incorporated company.
Right,
If
but it's
you, as Eric, went out and did that shit,
yep.
and you were in all the videos, and you were fucking all the chicks in all the videos,
Yep.
it still wouldn't be prostitution. It's only really prostitution if the person that you're fucking pays you for it.
Pays me instead of pays the cameraman is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and so
these guys are paying these chicks to be embarrassed, and then, or not embarrassed, but there's some really crazy shit out there.
there is some crazy shit out there.
Crazy humiliation porn out there. But they're paying, and they I can't wait till she comes back this week.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see her, meet up with her at the motel. Like, they're not doing it at their house. Like, it's
No.
all at a hotel room and shit. Like,
Yeah, so it has all the trappings. And guys out there, we're talking about like I said, this is a pickup from last week. So we're actually talking about cam girls girls that do camming on ChatterBait, or Pornhub. I think they have a cam thing, or whatever else cam things there are, but also girls that have premium Snapchats, have the Twitter accounts. We're talking about the girls that advertise where they're going to be. They'll put out a Snapchat video of them like twerking, and across their ass, it'll, like, in pink sparkly letters, it'll be like, "I'm in Atlanta, here's my phone number," that kind of thing.
yep.
So we're talking about, is this prostitution? What is this? Is it prostitution? Is it not prostitution? And it has all the trappings. What you're saying, Chris, is it has all the trappings of prostitution, but there seems to be a loophole in
I
what
wonder
you
if there's
call
like
it.
something in the OnlyFans app or some, like, some form that, like, people, like, electronically sign and send to the girl, like, before they do it or something.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, you have girl A. For example, the girl that I met in New Orleans.
We'll call her
That-
Girl Anal A.
Yes, girl A. She let's say she meets a guy at the club, or like whatever. She's in New Orleans for the week, and some guy who lives in New Orleans goes out to meet her. They connect on, like, Instagram or Twitter, or whatever. Somehow he gets a hold of her. They meet up at a hotel, motel, whatever,
Holiday
and
Inn.
he gives her a blowjob or whatever he wants to do, or he wants to get fucked. She's fucking him. She's recording it, and then dumps it on OnlyFans. But what if there's something on OnlyFans that, like, maybe they have, like, some sort of legal document, where they be like, "Hey, I need you to consent to being on this video,"
Oh,
and
I
saying
see.
that you are not a prostitution client, like, you're not a John. Like, just in case the police bust us, we can say legally, this is what's happening, even though we know what's really happening. Because
So
if
you
these
s-
girls aren't giving these dudes, if these dudes aren't giving these girls money, these girls aren't showing up.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's an interesting point, but in a lot of those videos, isn't the guy, like, wearing pantyhose or a ski mask, or has, like, a pillow over his head the whole time?
I would say a good amount of them, that's the case. Some of them, no. But even and that, I think that makes it even more damning
Oh,
when
absolutely.
they have their face covered, because then it's like, oh yeah, no, he's a guy paying this chick for whatever he's about to do with her, but he just doesn't want to be on camera, or maybe that makes it harder for, obviously, police to track this down. Not that I want police out there tracking down people that post on OnlyFans and all that shit, but
Yeah, well, they have better jobs to do, yeah.
you would think. You would
Well,
think.
I
to
mean,
be
yes,
honest.
I would be wrong, but yes, I would hope.
You're using logic, and that does not apply here.
Right, I know, I get it, I'm wrong, but...
But it's like, they post on their Twitter, like, "Hey guys, I'm driving on over to, I don't know, make up a city, Kentuckyville, and I'll be there from this date to this date. Come out and see me." hit me up, guys. I'm gonna be in this city from this date to this date. Here are my tour dates.
Mm-hmm.
Tour dates?
Tour
Okay.
dates.
Like seriously, this is the common language.
Like it's
And
an
I just
exhibition.
what's and the reason, and just so you guys know, the reason why I brought this up last show was just like there's an overwhelming number of girls that do. There's a lot of these chicks that do mainstream porn. Like you'll see them on Groovy or whatever. I don't know about, yeah, probably Trans 500 too. Some sites probably wouldn't have these kinds of girls, but I mean, a lot of these like main websites have these chicks, and then you catch them on Twitter, and they're just going around the country like pretty much prostituting themselves out, and they use these major websites as a vehicle to promote themselves as. And actually, I remember the first time I joined the Groovy site, I joined Shimo Yan.
Mm-hmm.
The very first time I did it, like over 10 years ago.
Yep.
They actually had information on there on how you could connect with the girls on the website.
I remember seeing some of that stuff. Yeah, back in
Like
the
they
day
used
when
to
you
help dudes out meet. They used to help guys meet these chicks.
Of course, that was only for autographs. We all
Yeah, right.
We all know it was just I want to get a picture with you and nothing more. You can't say that they were gonna try to have sex with these girls. There's just not enough evidence. Of course, that's all bullshit.
And all the photographers used to fuck the girls too.
Oh man, what a fucking gig. What a gig that would be, like to just literally be surrounded by lady cocks all the time.
And they all have to be nice to you because if you don't like somebody, you're not gonna get them business.
And like filming that shit and like getting right up there in their assholes and stuff like that with the camera and just being like, you know what? Oops, my dick slipped in.
No, they just blow the guys while they're filming it. It's like,
yeah, that's true. Although
it happens a lot less now, though. It used to happen like all the time.
Yes, it does. You can still see it occasionally in behind the scenes videos. But I think we're getting a little off topic. So, so what we were talking about last time too was that these cam girls, these Snapchat, Twitter girls, OnlyFans girls, that a lot of their money gets taken from camming from OnlyFans. OnlyFans and camming will siphon off a lot of that money that they make in tips.
Oh, yeah.
And so it sort of pushes them to say, I need to make a living. So one of the ways I can make a living is to meet up with these guys and get a direct transaction from them, get paid for this and that. So is the industry pushing them towards this act? Are they doing it themselves? Would they do it otherwise? I mean, are they doing it
probably
willingly?
Pushing them to diversify and like get on not just Cam, but get on OnlyFans and Fan Central. And,
well, yeah, but is it also pushing them to go on these quote-unquote tours and meet up with guys because they need a little extra scratch here and there? Because if half of your paycheck is getting siphoned off and you're working every night for, I mean, way back in the day when I used to watch cam videos, I don't anymore. You know, sometimes you jump into a cam session, you look at the timestamp, and it says like 5.5 hours. And I'm like, this bitch has been sitting in front of her camera. I don't mean bitch. I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I mean. Sitting in front of her camera for 5.5 hours and then you look at the tip counter and it's like 200 tokens and whatever the fuck that is. I don't know how many.
Not a lot of money.
Yeah, I've never bought a token, so I have no idea how much it is. But
I want to say it's like $10 for 100.
Okay, but so then half of that gets siphoned off, and they get $10 for 5 hours of quote unquote work. They say quote unquote because, you know, they are doing something with the express intent of making money, but sometimes they're just tweeting on their phone.
The sites are littered with women that are just bored and they're just there.
Yeah, they're just hanging out. But
when somebody comes in and starts spending money, now it's showtime.
Yeah, well, that's how it was like 4 years ago when the last time I watched a cam show was or whatever. But I don't even know what it's like now. But so my question is, so they take that little bit of money, they take it by half or whatever they take it by. Is it pushing those girls to go up and meet up with these people, with these fans of theirs? Because you meet up with a fan and you say, I'll give you an hour, I'll give you 2 hours, you give me $200, boom, bada bing, bada boom, 2 hours, $200 in your pocket. And you can pull that shit for a week, and you got $1,000 in your pocket. Nobody's
And then they be
siphoning it.
charging more than 200, man. Like,
I don't know what they're charging.
from what I've been seeing, like, they be charging like 300 an hour.
Okay,
And I'm
well,
like,
see, and
who
that's
the
the
fuck
thing.
got that kind of money?
Well, that's the thing. And so, but they make that money, and by the end of the week, wherever they're touring, they have money for the month.
True. True.
So is the industry pushing them towards this? And is this true prostitution? Because most of it then gets turned around and shared back on these OnlyFans sites, back on Twitter, back on camming or whatever, where you can post these videos. So is that prostitution, or is that just homemade pornography? Because they're charging the guy for the privilege, certainly, but then they're filming it and then they're placing it out again, and they're making more money on it again on these OnlyFans sites. So anytime anyone wants to see this, they go to their premium Snapchat and say, I would like to see that video. They pay $10, they're getting $5 return on that. You know, that happens a couple hundred times, and you got a little chunk of change on that video. So my question is that prostitution? And what I'm leading to is that illegal? Could these girls get in trouble for this? And do they get in trouble for this? Because you see it all over the place. But
I know they can. I know they like avoid the police and stuff.
Well, I mean, I think that might be for a multitude of reasons. But I mean, of course they avoid the police, but it's not like it's hard to find this shit. Any local precinct could, type in 4 words, go to OnlyFans, type in their area, and they would get so many results. And they could sting these people left and right, but I can't tell if it's an actual legal thing. Of course, I'm not a legal scholar, and I should also say that I don't think prostitution should be illegal. I don't think that is something that should be governed by law or by government, in the sense that, like, I want to give somebody a service and this person wants to pay for this service. To me, that's not illegal. I mean, I want to go get a cheeseburger without making a cheeseburger, and that's not illegal.
I think it should be regulated.
Oh, I'm not saying it should be free reign. I'm not saying it shouldn't be unregulated. I think it absolutely should be regulated, but I think the first step is taking it away from illegality. I mean, of course it should be regulated. We should get rid of the whole pimp setup and that kind of thing, so we can get these girls some safety
some
nets.
Unions or something. Yeah.
Right, well, some safety nets. Something like, this is regulated. These are your work hours. This is where you'll be working. These are, things that these guys have to sign contract-wise, in the sense that they can be liable for any damage that they may receive. Plus, it keeps better track of the girls for their safety. I mean, you hear about it all the time where it's like, oh, prostitute ended up in the ditch, and it's like, we don't know who she was or why she was or whatever, and that's not cool. That should be a regulated thing, because that's horrendous. And so, no, I absolutely believe in regulating that, but I believe that first and foremost, get rid of the illegality of prostitution. And then tax it. Tax prostitution. Put it towards the roads.
Well, they're just gonna start doing it off the books. Because they don't want their money taken. Like, they're getting taken by the campsites and OnlyFans and whatever other sites are that are similar to that.
Maybe, but don't tax them at 50%. Tax them at the normal tax rate. I mean, make it a business is what I'm saying. Make it a company. Make them an employee. The same way that my taxes get siphoned off. And I don't like it. I wish I could do it under the table. I wish I didn't have to pay those taxes, but those taxes theoretically do something good. So we're working off of theoretical here, not actual whatever, because then we'll get into the big political issue of, do taxes do anything? And we're not going there. That's not what we're about. We're about balls and butts and cocks. Oh, and big tits too. We like big tits. So yeah, it's an interesting question of of is it illegal? Can they do it? And why do they do it? And like I said, I think it shouldn't be illegal. I think it is illegal. And I think they do it because they're pushed to it. I think they're pushed away by these sites that sort of prey on them, because these sites, OnlyFans, probably has some pretty big fucking coffers full of money that these girls have earned them. And I think they're not giving them... I don't think they're giving them their fair shake. And I think it's partly because it isn't like a 100% above board operation, so they can get away with it.
Well, I mean, one of the main things about porn, it's always been, them saying, hey, we're not prostitutes. We get paid to do this. Like, this is a professional. Women have been trying to bring dignity to the adult entertainment industry for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And what really struck me about what's happening is just how many of these girls aren't just sticking to, oh yeah, I'm an adult film star. No, it's, I'm going to run out here, hustle up some money, and have these men pay to have sex with me, or have these men pay for whatever they're going to have. They're going to, here's my Amazon wish list. Like, come on, daddies, pay up.
Yeah.
Give me your money now. Like, this hustle, I know it's out there, but it's the percentage of like transgender adult film stars that I've seen do this, and just girls that have graced a lot of different websites do this. Like, it is startling, because and maybe I'm just completely ignorant of like how porn works for cisgendered women. But I mean, they do have a lot of larger companies to fall back on, because obviously heterosexual porn is the biggest, genre of porn still.
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll ever really change, but it's just like, I was completely blown away at how many of these girls actually sell their bodies to weird men in all these cities. And I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. Like, does anybody else notice this happening? Like, I know sex work is something that a lot of transgender women fall into, but it is just like, a lot of these girls, they got reps, they have followings, they have shit that, I'm just saying they have followings. Like, they went a different path from just straight up, I'm gonna be a prostitute on a corner.
Mm-hmm.
But so many of them are still doing that kind of stuff anyways. It's just,
right.
It's really something else, man.
Oh, it's a double. It's kind of a double life sort of thing, and I think that it unfortunately damages the whole work of the feminist movement. Of, we're making it so porn stars are not seen as prostitutes. We're not prostitutes. We're business people. We are providing a service, and
ain't nobody buying that shit.
Well, see, I could believe that if a porn star is doing something on film,
if you're doing just the porn, but
right, that's what I mean. I think the whole turn to prostitution is damaging that idea of that it is not prostitution, that it is not something. Well, of course, that kind of actually brings into the moral issue of like, oh, is this wrong? Is sex wrong? Is viewing sex wrong, and whatever? And, I think that's that false moral high ground bullshit that people have, where we actually have to explain that porn is not bad, and that these women still have value. Just because they have sex doesn't mean they don't have value. And that's that, like I said, that's that moral bullshit where, people are like, oh no, sex is wrong and bad, and sleeping with somebody who's had sex before is like wearing an old shoe, and I'm like, that's just completely ridiculous. First of all, these women have value regardless of who they've had sex with, or how many times they've done it. So it's this whole weird amalgam of what the fuck is this, and is it a problem, and if it is a problem, how does it get fixed? And see, I tend to lean towards the side of it is a problem, because Nat obviously has a bunch of trans girlfriends and trans girl and friends, not girlfriends, but and quite a few of them have done escorting, and I've not met a one of them yet who said that that was a enjoyable time in their life. They didn't want to do it so much as they didn't know what else to do. They needed some money and that kind of thing, and they knew that there would be people paying out. So I think to put people in that position, look, if you want to sell your body for sex, I say more power to you, but I also think that's part of the regulation thing where it's you should want to do that, not I don't make enough money doing what I feel comfortable with, which is camming or whatever, and now I have to go out and actually make some cash. Because and the thing is I don't know. I don't know how these girls feel because I haven't talked to most of them. I don't know most of them. Maybe they love it. Maybe they like going out and doing this sort of thing all the time.
Well, I mean, I'm not really, I'm not really here for the female perspective too much, but the perspective from us guys
Yeah.
is these are the most visible transgender women out there.
Yes.
Like the transgender community is largely elusive. The ones that we see the most are these adult film stars, the cam girls, like all that kind. Those are the people we see
Right.
and we interact with the most. Well, not maybe not interact with the most, but like those are people we see the most. And it's just like to a guy who doesn't know any other transgender women, and you go out here looking, and you're on Twitter and you're seeing, oh wow, there's this chick over here, this chick over here, and wow, they're all fucking prostitutes. Okay, are there any like good looking girls that aren't prostitutes out here?
Well, yeah, that does
Like
give a bad perception.
it's just yeah. That's what I'm just saying. Like that's also what's alarming about it is that these are largely the representatives of the community. And if you judge the whole community by these girls, these are some money hungry hustling bitches. You know.
Well, yeah, that, and you're going to be disappointed when you try to find yourself a trans girlfriend, and you're going to find that most of these girls, not all of them, of course, but most of these girls aren't going to be like that. They're going to be, you know, they don't prostitute. They don't do these things. So a lot of these girls
don't nobody want a prostitute. Like that's good.
Right, but when, yeah, well, that's the thing is so the girls that prostitute, they can often afford, you know, all sorts of surgeries and stuff like that. So you know, these guys go out there and they look for these girls and they go, oh, I can't find any trans girls that have, you know, huge plastic tits. And it's like, well, probably because they don't have the money for that. Because a lot of the girls that do have the money for that have earned that money through sex work. And I know there are some guys out there that are like, oh, I couldn't be with a girl that has done that kind of thing, has done sex work like that. So that's
well,
great.
they're in the wrong fucking game anyways, man. Like all that morality shit usually is not a problem for guys that are into transgender women. Like that ship has already sailed for us at least.
But you know, it still has that thing, and it's the representatives are of a certain type, and I don't, like I said, I don't think these girls lack value. I don't think they're undateable or whatever. It's just I think it gives a false representation of the trans community as a whole.
Well, I mean, you know, I sent you that post from the trans star Vanity.
Yes.
You know, and if you guys don't know, just look her up. She's like a '90s, late '90s, very early 2000s. Trans porn star, like golden age of porn kind of chick, I guess.
Well, yep.
Golden age of trans porn at least. But I mean, look, dude, like I've seen her on HBO talking about, oh yeah, I can get men to do whatever I want, this, and that, and that's when she was in her prime. She is definitely removed from her prime, from having too much plastic surgery on her face, whatever. Like she's just old. And now she's not that chick anymore where you like she was like a Bailey J or Chanel Santini where she was like the top chick period. And all guys were like, God damn, that's a bad bitch.
She was.
Well, I mean, you know, she was on Instagram this past week on Instagram talking about, yeah, well, you know, I learned a lot in life, and in my younger days, I was all about trying to get a come up and hustling and getting more money and trying to get stuff from guys and all this other junk. And now I'm just trying to focus on me and finding love. And I'm like, well, I mean that ship has sailed. Like, yeah, you can find love, but it's gonna be a lot harder now than it was. And I mean, who wants that? And I mean, this is something that isn't just with transgender chicks. I'm just saying with a lot of the chicks that are out here now trying to get a come up, like, dude, you're wasting your time. You're if you're looking for happiness, you're not gonna find it by trying to get every dollar you can out of every guy you meet. Like it's just like I don't know, it's just ridiculous. So it just really brought me back to Vanity and like how she is now and how she really honestly reflected on the mistake of the mindset that she had earlier when she was younger, trying to get money out of everybody and shit, trying to hustle and ugh, just a mess. Sorry, I had to go on a rant there, guys.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that right now. I'm checking it out just to refresh my memory. And she talks about how she used to say that she was the baddest, the best,
She did.
and how her being prideful made her feel empty, and doing that hustle sort of, it was good at the time, but it left a hole in her that she's having a hard time. It seems that she's having a hard time filling, and I think that's unfortunate that she's having a hard time filling. And I think that part of that is of her own making. That if I was single and Vanity of today came to me, and I was out on the dating scene. I was looking for a trans girl to date, and I ran into Vanity. And I said, "Oh, I know you. You're Vanity." And she said, "I'm here looking for this and that kind of thing." I would be wary because of the way she represented herself back in the day. Like, what are you really after? Is this a cash grab? That kind of thing.
Mm.
And I think that's unfortunate, and that's me being honest with you guys. I'm not saying that is me being. I don't want to sit here and say I am completely altruistic and without flaws in any way, shape, or form, because I am flawed and I'm a guy like everybody else, and I have worries and that kind of thing, and it would make me go, I don't know. And I think that's unfortunate to say, but that's the feeling that you can sometimes get from this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm sorry, man. She done messed her face up with all that plastic surgery. Like her cheekbones, like I don't know what those. Man, I can't.
Well, over plastic surgery
Okay.
is definitely a problem. But
Okay.
to kind of put a button on this one, and it's really well, one, I want to hear from all you guys out there and what you think about this, what you think about my views, what you think about Chris' views, what you think about everything as a whole, because we welcome honest and open conversation about this, and that's what we encourage. We encourage all of you out there to feel your way through these issues the same way that Chris and I are feeling our way through these issues. Chris and I don't script these things. We talk about our points before the show, and we've got a list of what we want to talk about, but we don't script this. This is all just us talking about things and what comes into our mind and what our experiences are as trans-loving men. What does that mean for us? What questions does that raise? And I'd like to hear it from you guys. But my final thoughts on this are: I wish these girls, if they don't want to prostitute, if they don't want to go out and sell themselves, if they don't want to have sex with random people, if they truly want to find somebody that loves them and they want to be with, I wish that they didn't have to do this. I wish that the companies such as OnlyFans or the campsites didn't siphon off so much money from these girls, because they are doing the work and not reaping the benefits. I think what they're doing is valuable. I think it brings a lot of pleasure to a lot of people. And it brings a lot of pleasure to a lot of people that will never allow themselves the opportunity to be with a trans woman. So I think that has value to it as entertainment purposes, as sexual relief purposes in camming. And it's unfortunate that these girls are getting that money siphoned off so hard that they have to go out and do this kind of work. I don't think that's good, and I think that might come back to haunt them later down the line. And on the other side, though, I want to say that if these girls go out there and this is how they choose to live their life, if this is what they want to do, then I think they should have all the power to do it. I just wish that we had it legally and they had more representation, and that it was what's the fucking word I'm looking for? It's they have more representation. They can do it legally. I'm probably going to cut all this shit right now because I'm
talking about
like
unionize or what?
Unionize, yeah. Regulated. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Regulated. Maybe I'll leave it in. I don't know. But yeah, I wish these girls were regulated and that kind of thing. So I want them to stay safe, and I would hope that the stigma of having sex for money would disappear, and I hope that these girls do what's right for them. That's my feeling as a man who is trans amorous. That's my feeling for a man who wants the best for the trans community. And that's my views as a man who has his own flaws and who has flawed views on things, who feels ambivalent about a lot of these things. So yeah, I want to kick it over to you, Chris, for any final thoughts on this one.
Oh man, well nah, I pretty much got everything out there, man. Just way too many chicks trying to make money at every single turn. It is definitely starting to get annoying.
Yeah, well, it makes watching the porn a little difficult when everything's paid.
And I know you don't like to pay for porn.
Like... I don't. And see, that's the thing. That's the ambivalence.
You don't want to pay for it.
That's the ambivalence that I'm talking about. Is I don't want to pay for the porn. I want these girls to make a living, but I also don't want to pay for it. Because why? Because I'm a fucked up, flawed human being. But
I pay for the websites. I like that shit. I said I pay for the website. Yeah, I just hate the ones that don't let you keep the shit. But
the other problem I have is I don't know how fast Natalie would cut off my dick if bills for professional websites started coming in the mail or wherever, my bank account, and I go, oh shit, I forgot that came out, and she goes, what came out? And I'm like, nothing. It definitely wasn't TS casting couch. And then she'd find our sharpest knife, and she sharpens those things on a regular fucking basis. I mean, sometimes I'm like, hey babe, what are you cooking? She's like, oh, I'm not, I'm just sharpening the knives.
Shit.
And I'm like, this is terrifying. So fear for my dick. And having said that, we're going to wrap this one up. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. You can always email us at transtalkformen@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at transtalkformen. There's underscores in between each one of those words. And until then, we hope to hear from you soon, and we'll catch you guys next time.